Hey guys, just wanted to do a video on storing potatoes. Just wanted to explain to everybody how we do that and what the modern techniques of potato storing is. Often when I'm talking to people and people who aren't familiar with potato production, they ask, well, why is it that you guys can store potatoes for 10 or 11 months, whereas at home we can't store them for more than, say, a month? Well, there's some big factors for that. One is ventilation. Second is temperature control. Another is humidification. And lastly is fresh air. Those are the four main points. There are other details, but for our purposes today, we won't get into any more detail. So this is what 3,000 ton of potatoes looks like. And you can't tell in the video, but this pile is 16 feet deep. That's a lot of bags of potato chips. The potatoes are actually a living organism. They respirate, they emit CO2. So we have to keep those CO2 levels in check inside the bin here. If they get too high, they will actually start to cause the potatoes to break down, as well as affect quality when it's time to be processed. So I'm going to take you for a quick tour of the fan house in the plenum. I'll show you some of the equipment that we utilize to store potatoes. Now I shut the fans down so we can actually hear something. So this is where it all starts. These are the fresh air doors. Potatoes constantly need fresh air to keep the CO2 levels down. Potatoes respirate and create CO2. And if you let those levels get carried away, you end up with problems in quality. So the central controller analyzes inside temperature, outside temperature, that kind of thing, and controls when those doors open and close. The air movement is controlled by these large fans. The controller also can speed up these fans and slow them down, just based on the conditions it's seeing from all the sensors. There's many different sensors in this bin. And as we move through after the fans, this is the back side of the fans, then the air gets pushed through the cell deck, we call it. This is a huge humidifier. It's cardboard-like material that we pump water through, and the water droplets are picked up by the air on the way by, and that humidifies the air. So here I'm going to give you a really good idea of how this cell deck works. So this tray here has water in it. There's a pump in the corner, and whenever the cell deck turns on, it activates the pump, pumps the water up that pipe up to the top, and then there's a pipe that goes across the top, and the water trickles down. So moving through into the plenum is where all the air movement is. It's sealed off from the rest of the pile, so the air from the fans gets blown in here and then gets forced into these ducts. These ducts go underneath the pile, all the way underneath, and there's slots in them that allow the air to rise up through the pile. And that's how we keep the pile ventilated. The big pipe you see on the wall there is actually how we get the potatoes out. We use water pressure and a hose and actually push the potatoes out by water, and they float over into the area where we take them out with a conveyor belt. This is the control room for our ventilation system. This is the brains of the whole system. It's the Techmark 755 panel. And on here I can monitor temperature, humidity, CO2 levels. I can go and look at how many hours the fan has run on any given day, or how often even the heater turned on. So the options here are endless. That communicates with the computer we have here, which is the same system. This is all designed by Techmark Systems based out of Michigan. They have vast knowledge of potato storage. They store potatoes all over North America. So their equipment we've been very happy with. But with this computer system, what it allows me to do is monitor my bins off my phone And also, if there's an alarm that goes off, if the controller senses something wrong, it'll actually text me and tell me, hey, something's wrong, you need to go look. So that's a pretty cool feature. So now that I've explained to you how we store potatoes, you might ask, well, how can I do a better job storing potatoes at home and make them last longer? A couple things you can do. Don't store them in the plastic bag that they come in. The moisture builds up on the outside of the plastic, and that actually causes the potatoes to break down. Another big thing, don't leave them in the light. Light turns them green, which is a form of rot, and they'll break down from that. Keep them in a cool, dry place. That's kind of what I'm looking for.